Thanks, Carrie. I assume you let me. All right. Yes, thank you.
Today.
I don't know where my co-host is. One of them is on vacation, so I'm not sure if there was a miscommunication or what, but yeah. All right, so we are going to get started. Give me just a moment. And you guys can know, if you wouldn't mind, how the music is sounding, if you can even hear it.
It sounds good. A little loud maybe, but.
Okay, well then let's adjust that, because that can be, I just want it to be background. Is that better?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, excellent. Thanks for being here. Okay, so welcome to R&R. I'm gonna just sit here on my kind of blanket underneath, and we're gonna start out in a seated position. You can bring in some sort of rolling tool. Got my yoga tune-up balls. We just need one. So what we're going to do today is focus on this area underneath the collarbone and then into the chest and the shoulders. This area, when we round forward, when we work forward, tends to be tight. And then we get overstretched on the back side, or overstretched on the back side and shortened on the front side. So we're going to kind of work on opening this up with the ball. I'll give you the option to do some massage if you want, and then working outward to the shoulder, okay? So sit in a comfortable position. If you would rather be seated in a chair, you can do that as well. I've also got a block close by that this can help with, but if you don't have a block, that's fine too. You might use your hand, and you might also choose to go to the wall. So let's just take a moment to sit nice and tall and bring the arms out to the side. And bring your arms back, and then start to bring the arms forward. So as the arms come forward, you're gonna scoop out through the belly. I'll turn to the side. So you do this little scoop, and then as you reach back, you open. Think of your chest lifting and leading, and then exhale, scoop out the belly. We're starting to find not only range of motion in our arms, but also just feel your spine here. Letting as your sternum, your chest lifts, maybe even looking up where the wall and the ceiling meet. And then as you come into that scooped position, that rounded position, you'd be tucking the chin. Do that a few more times. Inhale and lifting, exhaling and folding. One more time, inhale. And exhale. All right, come on up to a nice tall spine, roll the shoulders back and down. And then start to alternate. Right side, left side. Can you go slower? Right side and left side. And notice the shoulder joint moving, but also notice all the muscles that are attached around this area. Noticing your shoulder blade muscles, your neck muscles, your upper back muscles. See if there's anything standing out. One more time. And now bring the arms out to center or out to the side, and just turn the palms up and turn the palms down, and find a little bit of just rotation. Let's take our right arm. I'm gonna do opposite you guys. So you're gonna take your right arm and just bring it across and hug the arm towards the chest. I'm gonna try not to go too far so I don't press into the microphone. So if you have the range of motion, you want to bring it all the way across and you want to hug that in. You can even reach your hand around the back. As you feel the stretch in the right shoulder, maybe find some circles, small circles. Never at a place that's painful. Go back out of it if you need to. Make smaller circles. Let's go the other way. Or don't go so deep. Let's open it up. And now do the left side. So crossing in front. Perhaps the hand reaches around. You can also play a little bit with finding some rotation. So kind of rotating the body, and notice how that affects your shoulder as well. Then bring it back through center. You're going to do those circles. And then we'll circle the other way. Paying attention to your right side compared to the left side. We are not typically equal on each side. Of course, we have, go ahead and shake that out. We have a dominant side, so that influences, and how we sit and stand and how we carry things and how we walk through the world. Okay, here is where we're going to use the ball. So we'll start on the opposite side. So I'm going to place this in my left hand and then go to the right. It is actually in my right hand, but I'm going to say opposite. So place it in your left hand and then find the center of your body. So think about the sternum. And just take the ball and just do some circling along the sternum here. In Chinese medicine, there are all sorts of points, liver points, lung points, actually not liver points, lung and gallbladder points along the sternum here. So massaging along this area can be really helpful. And we're also over the area that influences our immune system. So tapping here can be really great, or rolling here. Okay, so just do a little bit of rolling, and you're going to discern, you're going to decide how much pressure to place. So if you have like a lacrosse ball and you're doing this, you're going to lighten up on the pressure. If you have a tennis ball or something that has some give to it, like I do, then you might be able to apply a little bit more pressure. But more pressure is not necessarily better, so keep that in mind. Then moving, you're going to find your collarbone, right? So find your collarbone, and we're traveling just underneath the collarbone. So you can kind of see part of my collarbone, and we're going to use the ball underneath that area, travel over, and then to the front of the shoulder. So you can't really see it, but you're going to find it on yourself underneath the collarbone. And then just do some small circles. I like using the ball. You can also use your hand, your fingers if you'd rather. Sometimes using a tool and then the palm of the hand is less challenging on our fingers, especially if you use your fingers to type a lot. So you can use something and then roll. So keep doing that. And we're working out towards the shoulder area. Notice once again, any areas that are tender, and if there's some areas that feel like maybe they're tight or they're tender, you can also back off on the pressure and you might stay there a little bit longer. Okay, then let's go in towards the front of the shoulder. So I'll start to move out here. And if I move my shirt a little bit, we're really getting into the space between your shoulder and your chest, to simplify. And you might take your fingers and then just kind of get into there. And it's nice to place the ball right in that space and then just do a little bit of circling. So we're warming up the area. The other thing that I like to do, and this is what I had mentioned earlier when we first began, is you could also take a block And it could be a book too, like a book, whatever you have around you, to hold this and to begin to apply a little bit more pressure. So I can do some circles here. I can do it anywhere along the area that we've already worked. So we're wanting to open up this area that tends to be tight and round us forward. We could also, you guys keep working on that, and I'll just show you. If you wanted to, you could place the block against the wall. It's nice to have something that gives you a little bit of space. So then I can drop my head in, and then I can lean into this. And now I can get in quite a bit deeper, and I can bend and straighten and move side to side, go up and down in that area. The other thing I'll show you, and we won't really, this might be for another time, or you can do this on your own, is you have it pinned here. I'm against the wall, and then I can start to move my arm in all different directions. And that is called a pin and stretch technique. So you're not necessarily moving the ball, you are pinning the ball, and then you're moving the limb. And that's a great way to get in a little bit deeper. Okay. Let's go to the other side so we don't run out of time. So we're gonna come from the center, from the sternum. Again, you can always come back and spend more time on these areas if you're noticing, oh, there's some stuff there, it's tight, right? Maybe you wanna spend some more time. You're underneath the collarbone. So we're just gonna do some small, I like to do circles. Maybe you wanna go back and forth. Maybe you wanna go up and down. It is a small area. So we're not rolling down into the breast tissue, but we are getting some of the pectoralis tissue, the chest muscle itself, right? Because it all comes up. So, but you're staying pretty high. You're right underneath the collarbone, and we're doing those circles and working outward, paying attention to any areas that are talking to you. And you might notice too, which side is there a side that has more stuff going on? Is it your dominant arm? Your opposite arm? Did you have a prior injury? So starting to kind of piece it all together. And then working outward. Remember, we want this space between where we're working and the shoulder. And then you might use a tool, an extra tool. I've got the block, maybe it's a book, and we do some circles here. We can press in and hold, or we could also move to the wall. It is really nice to be able to get to the wall. You have your block, you have your ball, you have it pinned, and then you can start to do some movement. And I can do this with my block, but I can't hold a lot of pressure. Where the wall, I just get to lean into it, and then I can really move and explore. So you might find some days you want to go really, really light, and maybe other days you feel like you want to go a little bit deeper. Again, remember, more is not always better, especially with these practices. I like people to really think about, how do you breathe into what you're doing, and how do you start to kind of pay a little bit deeper attention to what is going on with your body. So you bring in more awareness. All right, let's go ahead and release. Take just a quick check, bring the arms out to the side. Find a lift of the sternum, find a baby back bend. And then exhale, go ahead and scoop out the belly, bring the hands forward, chin to chest. So this is how we started moving. So allow the arms to just flow back and forth. Feel the spine. Does the spine movement feel different as well? And then as you come on up, bring the hands behind this time and draw the elbows back. One of my favorite stretches, it's great to do throughout the day, kind of break up your working at your desk, at the computer, being on your phone. So much of what we do is rounded forward. So if you can think of just moving the arms back, opening the chest, it's a great thing to do. Let's take the chin to the chest, let the elbows come forward for just a moment. Stretch out the upper back. And then sit up nice and tall and release. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's practice of R&R. I look forward to seeing you guys next time on Wednesday. And remember, you can always request a practice. Thank you. Oh, yeah, great. You're welcome, John. Glad you could join.